Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Namo. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pastatyade Satarine. Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaurachande Arati Kushubha Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaurachande Arati Kushobha Jana Vitata Vane Jagamana Lova Dakine Nitai Chan Vame Gadadara Vame Gadadara Nikate Advaita Srini Vasa Chatradhara Bosi Ache Gorachan Radha Simhasane Aarti Kore Na Brahman Adi Devangane Narahari Adi Kore Chamaharadhunaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Goshadigaya Sankara Bhaje Ghanta Bhaje Bhaje Karyatala Madhura Vidanya Bhaje Paramarasala Gaurangiraratikshuva Jaga Janamanam Lova Shankavade Gantavade Madhu 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 Vade Bahu Koti Chandrajini Vadanjuvala Gala Dese Banamala Kare Jalamala Shiva Sukhanarada Preme Gaga Gaga Bhakti Vinoda Deke Gaura Sampada Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Gurudev.
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद्वै चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तबिंद की जय। प्रेम से कहिए जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तबिंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय। मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। ISKCON Phoenix की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे। All glories to the assembled devotee. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories. Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
नरसिंहदेव भगवान की नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलाद लाददायिने हिरण्यकशिपूर्वक्षः शिलाटाङ्कनखालय हितो नृसिंह परतो नृसिंहो यतो यतो यामि ततो नृसिंह बहि नृसिंहो हृदय नृसिंहो नरसिंहमादिं शरणं प्रपदे तव कर कमलवरे नाखा अद्भुत शृङ्गां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
कर कमलवरे नागा अद्भुत शृङ्गां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव
नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव
जय भक्त प्रहलाद प्रहलाद महाराज भक्त प्रहलाद जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद।
सर्वविघ्न विनाशक श्री नरसिंहदेव भगवान की भक्तराज प्रहलाद महाराज की जगतगुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की ताय गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे।
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Welcome to ISKCON Phoenix. On behalf of our presiding deities, Sri Radha Madhava Hari, and of course our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, welcome you to today's very special program So we have back-to-back programs, right? Yesterday, who was here yesterday? I know you did. Actually, you were here yesterday, and the day before yesterday, and the day before yesterday. You practically be here. So thank you so much for everything you did. Hare Krishna. So Maharaj has arrived. So will we allow Maharaj take his offer his obeisances? We are so happy to have him back. We were just saying that we were having back-to-back programs, wonderful programs. So let me tell you a little bit about His Holiness Bhagavan Kesava Swami. He entered the Brahmachari ashram at the age of 21 and has dedicated over 25 years to studying Sanskrit text and spreading spiritual wisdom. He has authored 10 books and designed over 50 courses aimed at applying ancient insights to modern life changes. I have to say, I'm partial to the Chaitanya Charitamrita compact series because we attend that, so my husband and I love that one. But in 2022, he co-founded Think Gita, a leading online platform for Bhagavad Gita education. Known for his global teaching engagements, Maharaj shares profound spiritual insights, seeking to transform character and consciousness beyond conventional materialism. He travels extensively around the globe teaching in eminent academic institutions, Fortune 500 companies, and some of you got a taste of that today at Intel. He also preaches at government and organization and spiritual communities. If I will have to give Maharaj's full biography, then we will not hear from Maharaj because it's just too much. He received the sannyasa order in 2022, underscoring his deep commitment to his spiritual path and guiding us through the vision and the mission of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for your service, for all the wonderful things that you are doing for this mission, so importantly. And I attended recently one of your classes at the GBC College, and it was just great, and we continue to talk about this. So thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So please welcome Maharaj. And we are expecting more people, but this is a working day. And I know many of you attended the program in the afternoon, so I'm hoping if you are watching, everyone who attended, get yourself right now here. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Harmonium is there. Harmonium is there. Do you have a harmonium? They have a harmonium? Huh? No, they have a harmonium. You can just put here. I'll give you. You can just put here.
So Maharaj, it's a little broken.
Oh, it's broken? No, it's not.
This key always shows up.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I know it's been a busy few days. Sunday program, Radhastami.
Shri Radha Madhavi Bhagwan ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gauri Bhagwan ki
Jai.
Shri Naji Gopal ki
Jai.
Jai.
Yes, Hare Krishna. So I know it's been a busy few days, and you had a wonderful festival. Was it a nice festival yesterday? Yes, I was in Dallas. So we had a festival there, but very happy to be with you. So yeah, we have this evening, we'll sing a little bit, if there's anyone else, we'll give them a little bit of time to come.
Haldi.
That's fine. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadarine Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Gira Vanachari Yamuna Gira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nittai Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, everyone. So thank you so much again for coming this evening. So we can discuss a little bit from the Bhagavad Gita. I didn't have a planned speech for this evening. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to hear about, I give you 1 or 2 minutes to think. If you have something specific, you can tell me. Otherwise, I'll pick something. So just have a think. Bhagavad Gita is very, very beautiful. It's explained, Maline Moshanam Pumsham Jalashnanam Dine Dine Gita Shakrit Bhashishnanam Samsara Malanashanam. Very simple to understand. Jala means water. Shnanam means Dine Dine, every day. So Jala Shnanam Dine Dine, just as every day we take a bath with water to cleanse our body, then similarly one must bathe in the words of the Bhagavad Gita. The Gita is the words flowing from Krishna's mouth. He said that in the previous yugas, the Ganga came to the world through the lotus feet of the Lord, bathing the lotus feet, and then the Ganga came into this world as the river. And therefore anyone who bathes in the river Ganges, they go in that flow and they will flow back to Krishna's lotus feet. But it's said that the same Ganga came to this world in Dwapara Yuga through the mouth of Krishna. And therefore the Ganga came in the form of the words of the Bhagavad Gita. So anyone who bathes in the words of the Bhagavad Gita, they ultimately see the smiling face. Those words take them straight back to Krishna's face. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says the same Ganga came in Kali Yuga again, in the form of the tears coming from the eyes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And therefore anyone who dances and sings and bathes in the tears of Nam Sankirtan, they ultimately can reach Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart. Yes. So yes, we can bathe in the words of the Bhagavad Gita. Someone has told me what the topic was, and I have to admit to you, I didn't think about this topic actually. So let's see, maybe this topic will also come. So like this, we can read the Gita, and it takes a little bit of patience to read the Gita. There was one man, he had some anxiety in his life, so when you have a problem in your life, where's the first place you go to? God. Option 1. There are different options. Option A, go to God. Option B, go to Google. And option C, go to an astrologer. So he decided to go to an astrologer. He was having many anxieties in his life. So the astrologer said, everything is pretty much okay. I've seen your chart. There's no big problem for you. Main thing is you just need to go and study the Bhagavad Gita. He said, I've got so many anxieties, the person said. The person said, just study Bhagavad Gita, and then there will be no more anxiety for you. Pretty much your astrology is fine. So he went to a guru and he said, the astrologer told me I should study the Bhagavad Gita to get rid of all my anxieties. So the guru said, yes, he advised you well. So just give me 2 months, I'll explain the whole Gita to you. So this man, he looked at the guru, he said, I don't have 2 months. I don't have that much time. Can you make it quicker? The person said, he said, there's 18 chapters, 2 months. He said, it's too long. The guru said, okay, then I'll just teach you the 18th chapter. That will only take 2 weeks. Just give me 2 weeks, I'll at least teach you the 18th chapter, that's the perfection of everything. So he said, I don't have 2 weeks. Is there a shortcut? So the Guru looked at him and said, okay, there's this one shloka, I'll teach you, 1866, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Just sit down, give me 2 days, and I'll just teach you this one shloka, and then you will understand everything. He said, I don't have 2 days, can you make it even quicker than that? So he said, there are just these 2 words in the shloka, Ma Sucha. Just recite these words. Krishna says, don't be in anxiety. He said, if you want a shortcut, then just do this. So the person looked at the Guru, he said, Ma Sucha, don't be anxiety. But I am in anxiety. How am I going to get rid of my anxiety? I don't want Krishna just tell me, get rid of my anxiety. I want him to teach me how to get rid. So he said, therefore I told you 2 months I need to study the Gita. So it's like that. We want a shortcut. We want the actual thing, but we have to also go through the process. Therefore it's mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Siddhanta boliye chite nakara alash iha hoite Krishna lage sudrida manash. When it comes to understanding Siddhanta or some philosophy, nakara alash, don't be lazy. Because iha hoite, by doing this, by patiently trying to hear and understand these teachings, although it takes some effort, iha hoite Krishna lage, by doing this one's mind, sudrida manash, will become very strong and will become fixed on Krishna. So therefore we're reading the Bhagavad Gita. There was a topic here. Does anyone have anything that's on your mind, or any question or anything specifically you would like me to address? If you have something? No? Yes? I have anxiety. You have anxiety? Okay, give me 2 months. Okay. So let's talk about that, anxiety. I'll just say some prayers and then we'll talk about that. Om Agyanati Mirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishram Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki. So all of us have some anxiety, for sure. I often say, I was once driving and there was a sign on the car and it said, "Do not disturb already disturbed." So disturbance and this kind of mental anxiety is there within every single living entity. And today we were at our corporate program and we were talking about letting go of the difficulties, letting go of the anxiety, letting go of all of our disappointments and dejections in our life. And so we were talking with everyone there about obstacles. And obstacles cause us a lot of disturbance, but we were explaining that the obstacles are not actually the obstacles. The real obstacle is, number one, the mentality that obstacles won't come in my life. The number two mentality is that obstacles are bad. And the number three mentality is that obstacles are too difficult to overcome. So, if one corrects these three mentalities, then even though obstacles may come, one will not feel any anxiety, one will not feel any disturbance. But these three mentalities have to be deeply ingrained. Of course, we were speaking more in a general way today, but here we can speak in a more specific way of why obstacles come. But before that, let's read what Krishna says in the end of the second chapter of the Gita. In the end of the second chapter of the Gita, there are a certain set of verses known as Stita Pragya, the qualities of a self-realized soul. These are very, very famous verses. It's said that every single day Gandhiji would recite these verses. I think there's about 20, 25 of these verses. And so he would recite these verses every day, because these are the verses which talk about what kind of consciousness we should try to have as we walk through all the different experiences of life. So this is chapter number 2, text number 56, and Krishna says, Dukheshvanudvigna manaha sukheshu vigata spriha vitaragha bhaya krodha stitadhir muniruchyate. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, who is free from attachment, fear and anger, is called a sage of the steady mind. Purport. The word Muni means one who can agitate his mind in various ways for mental speculation without coming to a factual conclusion. It is said that every Muni has a different angle of vision, and unless a Muni differs from other Munis, he cannot be called a Muni in the strict sense of the term. Nasav rishir yasya madam nabhinnam. Mahabharat Vanaparva 3.13.117. But a Stitadhir Muni, as mentioned herein by the Lord, is different from an ordinary Muni. The Stitadhir Muni is always in Krishna consciousness, for he has exhausted all his business of creative speculation. He is called Prashanta Nishesha Manorahantara. Stotra Ratna 43, or one who has surpassed the stage of mental speculations and come to the conclusion that Lord Krishna Vasudeva is everything. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. He is called a Muni fixed in mind. Such a fully Krishna conscious person is not at all disturbed by the onslaught of the threefold miseries, for he accepts all miseries as the mercy of the Lord. Thinking himself only worthy of more trouble due to his past misdeeds, he sees that his miseries by the grace of the Lord are minimized to the lowest. Similarly, when he is happy, he gives credit to the Lord, thinking himself unworthy of the happiness. He realizes that it is due only to the Lord's grace that he is in such a comfortable condition and able to render better service to the Lord. And for the service of the Lord, he is always daring and active and is not influenced by attachment or aversion. Attachment means accepting things for one's own sense gratification, and detachment is the absence of such sensual attachment. But one fixed in Krishna consciousness has neither attachment nor detachment, because his life is dedicated in the service of the Lord. Consequently, he is not at all angry, even when his attempts are unsuccessful. Success or no success, a Krishna conscious person is always steady in his determination. So this world is an uncomfortable place. Do you think Krishna wants you to be comfortable or uncomfortable? What is Krishna's ultimate purpose? Does he want you to be comfortable or uncomfortable? Uncomfortable? Who thinks Krishna's ultimate purpose is for us to be uncomfortable? You think Krishna's purpose is for us to be comfortable? Is it? No. Uncomfortable. Krishna's purpose is both. Krishna wants us to ultimately be comfortable. Why? Krishna is our best friend. Why would he want us to be disturbed? Why does he want us to be in anxiety? Krishna ultimately wants us all to be comfortable. However, we try to create a different comfort of illusion in different ways, and therefore what Krishna has to do is create discomfort within our comfort of illusion to ultimately take us to the real comfort. So first, what happens is we're comfortable in material life. Everything is going good, we have money, we have security, we have friendship, we have family. But then what Krishna will arrange is something to happen in someone's life. Krishna will send. In America they say a curveball. In India we say a googly, if you're a cricket fan. Then Krishna will send some other kind of occurrence in our life which is completely out of the normal. And what that will do is that will create an uncomfortable situation. And therefore one will realize, I'm trying to be comfortable in material life, but it doesn't work. Therefore there must be something more. So Krishna sends the uncomfortable situation, and then we come to spiritual life. But did you know that sometimes after you come to spiritual life, you can also get into the comfort of illusion in spiritual life also? Because you come to Krishna consciousness and then we think, it's very nice, I have my deities at home, I have my service, I have a nice Krishna conscious life, and everything is good in this world. But actually we haven't developed Krishna consciousness. We have a nice life, we have Krishna in our life, but we haven't actually entered into Krishna's life. There's a difference between bringing Krishna into your life and then ultimately entering into Krishna's life. If you bring Krishna into your life, but you still have a concept that this is my life and I'm also doing some spiritual things and I also have my other things in life, then what happens is you're living a spiritual life, but you're still finding comfort in the externals of it. And so what Krishna will do is he'll create an uncomfortable situation when you find comfort even in spiritual life. Therefore sometimes people come and they say, I became a devotee, I chanted, and still the problems are coming. We said, we never gave you any agreement that the problems would stop. Krishna wants you to be comfortable, but he wants you to be comfortable in Krishna consciousness. So the comfort of material life is an illusion. The comfort of a nice, balanced, steady, that doesn't mean you shouldn't have a nice spiritual life, but the externals of it is not enough. The real comfort is when we're comfortable in Krishna consciousness. And so Krishna will keep sending disturbances and difficulties and disappointing situations for us to keep us going higher and higher and higher. So today we were telling in the corporate the whole thing about how obstacles are not bad, how obstacles are ultimately something which give you a good gift. And then right at the end, one of the employees he said like, but why is this world here in the whole first place anyway? So we had to be a little bit careful because we can't, be. But he ultimately came to the point of saying like, why is this world there? And that's the ultimate point that we were mentioning right at the end, that the world is perfectly imperfect. Because ultimately we're not meant to be here at all. And all the imperfection and all the difficulty of this world is ultimately meant to get us out of this world. Krishna doesn't want us to be comfortable here because there's no ultimate happiness here. And so here Krishna is saying that one has to become a sage of the steady mind. And that means one has to be liberated from fear, attachment and anger. Vitta, raga, bhaya, krodha. These three things are all connected. When we have attachment, then definitely we will experience some fear. Isn't it? You have a fear. When you're happy, you're fearful it will end. When you're unhappy, you're fearful it will never end. When you have everything you've always wanted, then you're fearful that it will be taken away. And when you are endeavoring, then you're fearful that you may not be successful. We're always constantly fearful. Fear is overshadowing everything, isn't it? It's like if you ever see a pigeon eating, then it's constantly always looking around, because it's eating, but it knows that someone will come. So if we have attachment, rag, then we'll have fear, bhaya. And when there is bhaya, then ultimately there will always be some anger, because ultimately our plans will be not fulfilled, because the material world doesn't allow us to do that. And so Krishna is saying that the root cause of everything is that we have material attachment. And so this is why we experience disturbance. The moment that you let go of material attachment, then in that very moment one experiences complete freedom. And how do we let go? By looking beyond. This is the ultimate point. If you want to let go of material attachments, then you got to catch that which is beyond. So therefore this rag has to be transferred to Krishna. Radha, yesterday we were discussing and celebrating and remembering Srimati Radharani. So what does her name mean, Radha? There are many different explanations. But one of the meanings of her name is Ra means rag and Dha means Dhavati. Rag means attachment and Dhavati means to run. So one meaning of Radha is she who is running after her object of attachment, Krishna. So when one has become captured by Krishna, when one has fallen in love with Krishna, when one has become completely enchanted by Krishna, then the things of this world will not look so attractive anymore. And if one no longer has any attraction or hope for the things of this world, then they'll never be disturbed, they'll never be disappointed, they'll never be dejected. because those things were not important to them. So this sometimes seems like a very, very high philosophy, because we're living in the world and we do have relationships, we do have responsibilities, we do have different things that we're involved in this world. And how do we interact with it all and be attentive and at the same time be detached? This is a great art. And people go to extremes. Either they hold on to these things too much and become so attached that it brings them anxiety, or what they do is they just become very, very aloof, they leave everything behind, they're not responsible. And Bhagavatam actually says that bhakti cannot take place in the heart of someone who is too much attached, and also someone who is too much superficially detached. Therefore, one has to learn the art of how to interact with everything in this world, how to have relationships, how to have things, how to play different roles of dharma, but at the same time, how to always have one's mind in a different space of consciousness with Krishna, like this. So, yes, how do we let go? Our disturbance comes from holding on. So we let go by letting go of the rag, their attachment for material things, and trying to transfer that attachment to Krishna. And when that happens, then naturally fear, anxiety, anger, all of these things will disappear. Okay, let me stop here. Does anyone have any questions or any? Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj, for the morning and the class right now. So the question comes in that when we are practicing spirituality, how do we know that we are not doing it out of material attachment and we are doing it actually for Krishna, and then we are developing that attachment towards Krishna? Because I might be attracted to something in Krishna consciousness, that might be just because my nature is like that. It might be just a little bit dovetailing, but not fully sincere enough to make it towards Krishna only. So how can we differentiate that on a subtle level? And externally it will look the same. Right?
Yes. So we are practicing Krishna consciousness, and we are doing it with a desire to render pure devotional service to Krishna. But how do we know if we're doing it with a material objective? How do we know whether it's actually pure or not pure? How do we know what our real motivation is? Because externally it may seem to be very spiritual, but internally it may just be for material cause. Yes. So I think practically all of us can just rest assured that all of our devotion is mixed with material things. I think it's not, for most of us here in this world, it's not a question of if it is materially motivated, it's just a question of how much it is materially motivated. But what Krishna explains is that we'll know if we're moving in the right direction, because rather than trying to see how pure we are, we can at least begin to judge how we're changing. Right? So for example, in the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam, it will say, Bhakti paresha anubhavo viraktir anyatra chesha trika eka kalaha prapadyamanasya yathashnata shustusti pustikshud apayonughasham. That how do you know that you're rendering bhakti which is actually moving you forward in your spiritual life? The analogy is given of eating. When you eat, then three things happen. Tushti, first you get some pleasure. Pushti, second thing is you get some nourishment, your body becomes energized. And third thing, Kshud apayo, you become free from hunger. How do you know that you have really eaten? These three things should happen. So similarly, how does one know that their devotional service is sincere and is moving them forward? The first thing is that one should feel more happiness in their life. One should feel a general pleasure, contentment, kind of a feeling of joyfulness, much more than they had previously. That should be increasing. Second thing is, just as one eats, they get nourishment. If one is actually practicing bhakti, then they should actually feel the presence of Krishna in their life. They should feel Krishna is arranging, Krishna is active, Krishna is attentive, Krishna is answering the questions and the prayers that I'm offering to him. They should be able to experience Krishna more and more. And the third thing is, just as when you eat, you get detachment from hunger. If you're actually practicing progressive bhakti, then you should look back in your life and you should see, now I am having less material attachments. I'm having less material desires. Generally, the things of this world are not as attractive to me as they were 5 years ago. And that way we can understand that the kind of bhakti we're practicing may not be Shuddha bhakti. Because how many pure devotees? We are not there. But at least we know it's progressive bhakti. Because these three things are happening. And it's a very, very clear scientific way of understanding that my devotion is moving in the right direction. Does that make sense?
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you for that. So the add-on to that is that in the future, when you're now practicing bhakti, so we would have our own intent and everything towards it. So even when you're trying to do something, like suppose say you're doing an arati or something, so over there also, like how do we make sure that, okay, I'm at least trying to, move ahead the way you said, so that the result is like, if I look back, it's there, otherwise I'm missing the point.
Bhakti means three things: intention, attention, and action. So if you're doing an arati, then the first thing is action. You make sure you do the arati in the right way, according to, all the rules, like being attentive to all the details, and you try to do it in the purest way possible. That's your action. That's one exhibition of your bhakti. Another one is then you try to do with attention. You try to understand the meaning behind the arati. Why do we do arati? What does this signify? Why are these 5 elements there? Like what are all these paraphernalia? We are trying to understand the meaning behind what we're doing. And then the third thing is then we try to do it with intention. We try to do it with some genuine feeling, some genuine devotion, some genuine attraction for Krishna. And then in this way we render the service with intention, attention, and action. This is bhakti.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much Maharaj, such a wonderful class. Maharaj, when we listen classes or when we hear senior devotees, of course with intelligence we understand that how important this life is, the goal of the life. We have such a limited time, we should rapidly make a progress. But because of anarthas, even though we want, but anarthas, tightly capture it and not let us progress as quickly as we should. So someone like me who is struggling with anarthas, intelligently, I quickly wanted to move ahead, advance in bhakti, but I can clearly see that I'm not able to do that, which I always wanted. So devotees like me who have such gross anarthas, but how can we still make a quick advancement in bhakti?
So in the Bhagavatam is mentioned, akama sarvakamo va moksha kama udaredi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. It doesn't matter if someone is akama, they have no desires, or they're sarvakama, they have every single material desire. they have to render bhakti, but specifically they have to render tivra bhakti, which means intense devotional service. So what does intense devotional service mean? There are different ways in which you can increase the intensity of your bhakti. And according to the intensity of the bhakti, it will result in a different level of progress. Like one disciple, he asked his guru, why is it that some people, even though in a spiritual community, don't make much progress? So the guru said, come with me. So then what he did is he took him to the kitchen, and there was the stove with the fire. So he walked into the kitchen and there was a stove with fire, but there was no pot there. So the guru pointed, he showed the stove with fire, and then the disciple looked up and there was a pot, but the pot was suspended from the ceiling. So there was all this distance between the stove and the pot. So the guru said, this is your answer. In that pot, all the ingredients are there. But because there's such a distance between the pot and the fire, practically nothing will cook. So he said, so he was explaining to the disciple that advancement is dependent on how much one engages themselves in that fire of devotional service. So what does it mean to increase your intensity? So what I share with devotees is there's 4 broad ways in which you can increase the intensity of your devotional service. One is by increasing the quantity, how much you do. In other words, trying to fill your life with more and more devotional service. It's amazing when you don't waste time and you actually try to serve Krishna in bigger ways, then what happens is Krishna gives you more time and you can do more service. That's why it's amazing. Sometimes you see these devotees who are doing so much and you think, how do they fit it into 24 hours? Because there's an empowerment, because they're trying to increase the quantity of what they do. So this is one way to increase the intensity. But sometimes you may look at your life and you may say, Krishna, I have no more time. I can't fit anything more in. All the hours of the day are gone. So then what you can do is you can increase the quality of what you're doing. Like one Kartik, now Kartik is coming. So one Kartik, I just came in front of Krishna, I said, everyone takes a vow in Kartik, but Krishna, I can't take any vow because I don't have any extra time. You look at my diary, I'm showing you here, I have no more time to do anything. And in that moment, Krishna inspired me, and what I did that Kartik is instead of chanting more rounds, what I did is I made a vow that I'm going to chant my 16 rounds in one go, in one place. So what I tried to do was increase the quality of what I'm doing. And it was very beautiful, that vow. So another way you can increase the intensity is by making a vow to increase the quality of what you're doing. A third way to increase the intensity of your spiritual life is to increase the difficulty of what you're doing. Sometimes we only do the things which come naturally and which are attractive to us. But what about if we begun to do something that's a little more difficult, but needed by Krishna, needed by the movement, then we increase the intensity. And the 4th way to increase the intensity of your devotion is to increase the responsibility. As we try to help others and take responsibility for the spiritual progress and well-being of other people outside of my own self, then our devotional service becomes more intensified, and then we make more advancement. So if you practically see any advanced devotee in Krishna consciousness, you'll see that they do 1, 2, 3 or all 4 of these. They've constantly been increasing the quantity, the quality, the difficulty and the responsibility which means that they increase the intensity. And if you maintain consistency in intensity, then it will awaken your purity. Sorry, I'm trying to be poetic here. Sometimes I tell people you have to find an intensity that suits your personality so that you can maintain a consistency that awakens your purity. Because everyone will find an intensity your intensity also has to suit your personality. The way that one person becomes intense will not be the same as another person. But if we perform casual, there was a recent survey that 96% of people who are in religious communities are casual practitioners, and 4% are intense practitioners. So that we know that is roughly the statistics. So the tendency is for us to always slip back into being casual and comfortable. And so, yes, like this.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
That was the same question. Yes.
Oh, it's the same question.
So probably I want to ask in a different angle. So probably just to get more nectar, more clarity. We have heard that Prabhupada said, right, you just need one moment if you want to really get liberated, just one moment. And again, when we look at the instruction, Rupa Goswami says it's all about bhakti, it's a gradual process. So do you want to expand on anything or clarify?
So, Srila Prabhupada in one sense says it only takes a moment and that we can become Krishna conscious in a moment, but then we also hear that Krishna consciousness is a gradual process. So which one is true? You see, gradual is a relative term. Like sometimes we think Krishna consciousness is very slow. It takes a long time, one whole lifetime, because we're looking from this perspective. But then when we look from the perspective of eternity, what is one lifetime? It's a moment. So is Krishna consciousness gradual? Yes. Is it a moment? Yes, because this life is just a flash in eternity in one sense. So that even Einstein talked about the relativity of time. So it's, what is time? We wanna be fast. I want it now. But actually it is going very fast. When we grow up, then we realize this is very fast. It's interesting, whenever you speak to a child and you ask them their age, they're always like, I'm 5 3/4. Isn't it? Like, for them it's like going from 5 years to 6 years almost feels like a yuga, you know? They just wait 5 3/4, I'm nearly there. And it almost, when you're a kid, one birthday to the next feels like so long. But by the time you're 60, you're kind of looking at Krishna like, can time slow down? Like, this is going too fast. Like, oh my God, I'm getting old so fast. So when we grow up in spiritual life, then what we initially thought to be very slow, this takes such a long time, when we actually grow up in Krishna consciousness, we realize, my God, this is going so fast, like one life, and I'm just Krishna. The other perspective to is it momentary or is it gradual, Srila Prabhupada writes, that it all depends on the attitude of the follower. It's a gradual process if our attitude is not good or not as spiritual as it could be. But it's a moment. Khatvanga did it in a moment. So it takes a lot. We're practicing spiritual life, but it's all that internal adjustment, Like years ago they used to have radios, isn't it? And I don't know if you remember those, but there was like a knob, and you would have to just like tune it into the station. So practically you're right there, but you can't hear it properly, and then just a slight change, and then boom, it becomes very clear. So we're kind of there, we're in Krishna consciousness, and we're basically right there, we're doing everything. But it's not quite coming. The connection doesn't seem to be quite coming. And therefore it's just a slight adjustment of attitude. And as that attitude changes, then boom, it becomes very clear. Right? So in Krishna consciousness, it's just about adjusting that subtle attitude that we have. And then it goes very quick. Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Can you please explain examples for the third point? You said that's difficulty.
Okay, so I said that you become more intense in devotional service by taking on difficulty. So what does that mean? So what we're trying to do in our devotion is realize that Krishna is the doer, that Krishna is in control of everything. So what happens is that sometimes in our life, by taking on difficult things, what it creates within us is a dependency on Krishna. Like sometimes they do this experiment where two people are looking in the same direction, and one is standing in front of the other person, and then we tell the person in front, okay, now you have to just let go and fall back, and the person behind you will catch you. So it looks, for everyone who's watching, it looks very easy. Like, just fall back, he's there anyway. But for the person who has to do it, it takes a lot, it's difficult. So, but then when they fall back, then the person catches them. So like that, when we take on something difficult for Krishna, then what happens is we feel Krishna's presence in our life. If you take a risk for Krishna, if you do something courageous, if you come out of the comfort zone to try to find Krishna, then what happens is Krishna comes and becomes more present in your life. And so what do I mean by taking on difficulty? What I mean is that sometimes we have to make hard decisions. Sometimes we have to take on difficult services. Sometimes we have to sacrifice some of our material comfort to find Krishna. So if you don't take a risk for Krishna, then you're not giving Krishna the opportunity to come and act in your life. So the devotees, there's a beautiful video by Shyam Sundar Prabhu, who is one of Prabhupada's early disciples. And he said, Prabhupada told us that if you take a risk for Krishna, then Krishna has to come. And he said, we tested this out to the max. So he said, we started doing like crazy things for Krishna. So he explains one day they had got this first temple in London, and they had no idea how we're going to pay the rent. But if you take a risk for Krishna, Krishna has to help. So they took this risk, they got this. Anyway, it was coming 1 month, they were about to be evicted. And they had no idea how to pay the rent. And he said one day, in the midst of this crisis, he said, we just walked down the temple stairs. We walked, it was early morning. He said, we walked into the road. It was early morning, there was not one person in sight. And he said, just out of nowhere, there were all these money just flying. Pound notes, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pound notes, just flying. He said, we looked around, there was no one. And just this money was flying. He said, we caught the money. It was like no idea. He said it came to the point where we expected things like this to happen. Because Prabhupada told us, if you take a risk for Krishna, Krishna has to help you. And then in his interview he said, but now we've become very comfortable. We've lost this spirit of taking a risk, doing something daring for Krishna, taking on a difficulty. He says, but if you take a risk, Krishna has to come. So, to take on a difficulty means that we don't try to control the situation anymore. The reason why we don't take on difficulties is because we're in the mentality, I'm the doer, I'm the controller, and if I can't do this and if I can't control this, then I'm not going to do it. But when we take on something difficult, then we realize, I'm not the doer here, I can't control this, Krishna, you have to do it now. And then Krishna acts, and then we realize, wow, Krishna, he really exists. That's amazing. So yes, it's if you look at every character in the Bhagavatam who found Krishna, they all took a risk. So, yes.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj, wonderful class. Thank you so much. Sometimes could it feel that we feel Krishna's presence, we try to take risks, whether it's in management or going, above and beyond.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels like we are being tested even to the end potency. We understand that we are serving Srila Prabhupada for the pleasure of Krishna, for the benefit of all, and understand that there is in giving that we receive. But sometimes, how can we guard ourselves or from getting into the mainstream, to get tired, to say like, I'm trying so hard, and here it's like, it feels that I'm tested, and I'm tested, and I'm tested, and we have to remind ourselves that it's difficult. Because many times you try and try to share this wonderful gift, and it's not easy. We have to fight with many things that we have inside, and we come back and say, we're doing it for you, we're doing it for you. Help.
Yeah.
How?
So sometimes we have such a desire to serve Krishna, to serve Srila Prabhupada. And sometimes we may feel, I'm trying to take on this difficulty, this responsibility, but it's not working, it's not happening, it's not turning out as I expect. Srila Prabhupada writes in his poem when he comes to America, now Krishna, you make me a success or failure as you wish. Devotee knows, like I was mentioning, bhakti means your intention, your attention, and your action. And once we've done that, we go to bed at night and we say like, Krishna, I couldn't have done any more. I don't know what more I can do. If I can do more, you tell me. And this is the satisfaction of a devotee, that they know that everything I had, I gave. And therefore, in that brings the contentment, that brings the happiness. But when we go to bed at night and we know, I could have done more, I held something back, then it's not. Therefore, ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Bhakti, which is unmotivated, uninterrupted, and in which we engage everything that we have, that satisfies the soul. So, after some time results, of course we want to have a beautiful result and have something to show Krishna, but as we mature and see the reality of spiritual life more and more, we realize Krishna has a plan, way better than what I can ever come up with. And so if I'm investing everything I'm giving and it's not happening, definitely Krishna has something better. So how Krishna works, what he sends us, the tests that he sends us. One Christian writer, he said, I prayed for strength and you just kept sending me obstacles. I prayed for love and you just kept sending me people who needed help. I prayed for wisdom and you just kept sending me more problems. He said, now God, I know that you gave me everything that I needed and nothing that I wanted. Yes, you want love? Okay, this is how you're going to do it. So we have no idea how Krishna is moving. You know, even Srila Prabhupada, how he spread this movement. Even Srila Prabhupada said, all along Krishna was planning something. I had no idea. What about all of Srila Prabhupada's seeming failures, you know, in India, failing. In Vrindavan, he said, I'm crying alone in the wilderness. In the New York of 1965, all alone. So much struggle, but happy that he was following the order. Like that. Some thoughts.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful class. You mentioned that we live in a materialistic world which is illusional, which is filled with illusions. But we can also live in this kind of like spiritual world, which is we can live with illusions also in the spiritual world. But since it is illusion, it does not give fulfillment, and one has to live comfortably in Krishna consciousness. So can you please explain a little bit more about this state and how can one practically practice it?
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, I was mentioning that you can get comfortable in spiritual life. What's the difference between being comfortable in spiritual life and being comfortable in Krishna consciousness? There's a difference. Comfortable in spiritual life means by Krishna's grace we received devotee association. By Krishna's grace we received enough material facility to be steady and secure. By Krishna's grace we received everything we need. And by Krishna's grace we're also engaged in devotional service. However, if all of that is taken away, will we still be Krishna conscious? That's the question. When you're comfortable in Krishna consciousness, then it means we've internalized our spiritual life. When we're comfortable in spiritual life, it means we've created a spiritual situation around us, but we haven't actually internalized that consciousness. Like I was once doing an ashes immersion ceremony where you put the ashes in the Ganga. So then we were discussing when we saw the ashes go into the Ganga, that at the end of this life you can't take your bookshelf with you. But you can take the genuine realization that you have in your heart. At the end of this life, you can't take your beads with you, but you can take the taste you have for the holy name. At the end of this life, you can't take any of the titles or positions with you, but you can take the service attitude that you have in your heart. At the end of this life, you can't even take Vaishnavas with you, but you can take the love that you have for them in your heart. My own spiritual master, once he was temple president in Vrindavan. Anyway, what happened is there was some intrigue in Vrindavan also. There can be many crazy things that happen. So anyway, someone tried to shoot him in Vrindavan. So one day he was there, anyone in any position of responsibility, anything could happen. Anyway, they tried to shoot him. So he was shot. Anyway, he had to leave Vrindavan because it was not safe for his life. Anyway, he recovered. And then at one point he came back to Vrindavan. He had to come in the middle of the night. It was still dangerous for him to come. Anyway, this is also the other side of Vrindavan. Anyway, but then he mentioned he came back to his room. This was sometime later. And what had happened was that everything in his room had been cleared out. Everything was gone. All his items. And then he said, all my years of notebooks were also gone. And he said, in that moment I realized Krishna took away my service. Krishna took away my residence in the Dham. Krishna even took away all my notes. And he said, I realized in that moment, all I'm left with is the genuine Krishna consciousness I have in my heart. And that's what it means to be comfortable in Krishna consciousness when we internalize everything. So I'm not sitting here saying you shouldn't have a nice and secure and stable spiritual life. You should. You should have enough material facility, you should have a good community, you should have a supportive environment. But we shouldn't be in the illusion that now I've made it. That's a great facility and opportunity. But now all of that has to enter deep within one's heart. So that even if tomorrow, if it was all taken away, you know, like when you build a building, then you have scaffolding. Is that what they call it in America? You understand what I mean? Like when they're building a building, then there's like a support structure, and then they build the building. But then at one point, maybe all of that scaffolding will come down, and then will the building be able to stand? So comfortable in spiritual life means my building is built, the scaffolding is there, but what is happening is I'm still relying on all of that scaffolding. Comfortable in Krishna consciousness means I'm built my spiritual life, the scaffolding is all there, but tomorrow if the scaffolding would go down, it doesn't matter. The building is still there. That's real comfort. Because then, dukeshvanu dvigna manaha sukheshu vigata, then nothing external can ever disturb you. Because you're stitadhi. Does this make sense? Okay, thank you. Alright, so I'm looking at the time. If there's no more questions, shall we finish here? I think so. It's getting late. Thank you so much, everyone. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai. Hare Krishna. Jai. Make round of applause. Thank you so much, Maharaj. And well, you yourself told us that you are very busy, you have no time. And we're not going to ask you for 2 months. Maybe not even 2 weeks. But please keep us in mind. It will be wonderful probably just even have an immersion of your, maybe condensed Chaitanya Charitamrita. I know I'm being biased. I love that. we just love it. Please think of us to have that wonderful session. Our yatra is ready for that. We're studying Bhagavad Gita. We love Srimad Bhagavatam. And I think we can even increase the taste of bhakti if you would give us some time. We can even take the 2 days for immerse in Chaitanya Charitamrita complex studies. I mean, it just increases the bhakti in there. You have inspired us so much. And we've been seeing you before, you were amazing. Then when we came to see that you have taken sannyas, and so like, he's wonderful. He's going to do wonderful things in the vision and mission of Srila Prabhupada. So thank you so much for giving us that. And we are hoping to see you soon. And I know who we're going to be pushing to make sure that happens. Thank you so much, Maharaj. And there's a home program tomorrow at Trivikram Prabhu and Leelavati Devidasi. If you have not RSVP, please do so. Tomorrow at 6:30? 7 o'clock. Okay, 6:30. We can have... Oh, we have the ceremony also at 4 o'clock. So please, if you have any questions, see Shiji Priya Devidasi over here. Okay. Please, if you are not in the groups, we can add you today. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you.
And please, the website for Maharaj is, if you want to see all the books that he has written, if you want to get them, please look at, and it's
KesavaSwami.com. And we have some of Maharaj's books available at the back. We've got Gita Free, which Maharaj has broken down the Gita into 3 parts, and it's a very practical workbook. We've got Gita Life, where Maharaj has summarized the whole Bhagavad Gita in acronyms. We have Book Bhagavad, where Maharaj has summarized the whole Srimad Bhagavad in a very succinct way, with really nice analogies and diagrams. And finally, we have Tattva, where Maharaj has an incredible blog online as well. So this has excerpts from Maharaj's blog, but expanded a little bit, and there's in a really beautiful question and answer form. So we have those 4 books available at the back. We'll be there for a few minutes if anyone would like to come and have a look or purchase any of them. And we accept card payments as well, so you can do that.
Apple Pay?
Apple Pay is great.
Hey! Then there's been no problem. And everybody, I'm sure, would love to jump at that opportunity. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sri Priya Devidasi, Ishwaranga Das Prabhu. Thank you so much for hosting Maharaj and for keeping him connected to ISKCON Phoenix. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji, for your kind words.
Mataji, you'd be happy to know that Maharaj is writing commentary on Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Hare Krishna!
Hare
we
Krishna.
need that mercy. We need that mercy, right? And you can deliver it to us.
Try. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Mahaprasade Govinde.
Do together Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnave Shilpa Punya Vatam Rajan Vishwasenaiva Jayate Sharirat Vedajal Jadindiya Tahekal Jiva Pele Visesagre Tar Madhya Jivati Lobha Maya Sudamati ताके जिता कति न संसारे कृष्ण बड़ा दयामय करी बारे जीवा जाए स्वापसादन दिदो भाई सही नामृत पाओ श्री राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ पेमेदा को श्री चैतन्य निताय जय माय जय निताय जय कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavad Prasadam ki jai.
Oh yeah, Jai Krishna Guru told me, but unfortunately,
Yes, I'm going to be there actually. Yeah, right. So, I mean, I'm glad of the way that ISKCON now leaders are actually following the Prabhupada's mission and mission. But it's empowering the youth to increase in leadership, and particularly women and girls and people, because instead of
गीता का तो बहुत अच्छा है, गीता का सारांश है। I just thought to even take more
Giving knowledge is just a fraction of time.